Pictures of couples behaving intimately in public have been flooding websites like Stomp. Many Stompers have expressed their disgust at these overt expressions of affection, but just as many have stepped up to say the couples aren't doing anything wrong. So how far is taking things too far in public? Now we'll take a look at a few pictures that people have taken of couples behaving intimately online. So I just want to get your views on each individual picture. Okay, the first one is on can you see? On the MRT. And it's basically a guy and a girl in a bracelet. So what do you feel about this? Okay?
I think it would be more okay if the girl was more covered up.
Right.
Yeah. It wouldn't look so obscene.
Right.
No, they look like they're gonna do something. Like, because they're looking at each other.
I think they're talking, I don't know.
Right.
What's that?
Oh my
What's
god.
going on there?
Are there like two girls?
Alright, yeah, so this is basically two girls and a guy.
Wow,
yeah.
I have to take my hat off to the guy.
And his legs are like around her, I think. It's horrible.
Horrible, why?
It's gross. I'm just looking at his legs. Like she's in between his legs.
I don't know, he's making himself go a level where she's comfortable to lie down on his...
I think this is an example of something I mentioned earlier about the people who do these things having to do it with their eyes open.
Yeah.
And I think these two people probably did it without considering the possibility that they would be sort of caught on film and it would end up on the internet and maybe their parents would see it or something.
Right.
That's okay, there's no face.
Yeah, no face.
Yeah, so definitely okay then.
So they took care not to, be too public about it.
Right.
This is probably the kind of stuff that used to go on all the time in my day when people didn't have camera phones.
Correct.
Yeah.
Alright, so our final word on PDA, should we just accept it or should couples stick to just like holding hands and hugging?
You can't tell people what to do and what not to do, because this is something you can't set in stone. You can't go to Parliament and say, we're going to ban this in public. It's just not fair. Yeah, it's just, as a couple, it's just human nature to be intimate, and it's up to them to choose whether you want to be intimate in public or not. And if you, as a person, sitting, I don't know, in a train or in a cinema, whatever, it's up to you as well whether you want to look at it or not, or whether you want to mind, be angry about it or just not care. So, there's two sides of this story, and both sides got to make a choice. That's how I see it.
Right. Ju-Len?
I think it all boils down to responsibility. Yeah, everyone, the people who are doing PDA and the people who want to take pictures, it's all their choices. Yeah, so I can't say like whether we should accept or like not accept it.
I think you should do it with discretion. Like, if you are old enough to fall in love and get intimate, I'm sure you know where is the line between acceptable and not acceptable. If you yourself, looking at other people do it, disapprove, then I don't think you should do it as well.
I think it is possible to live in a world or a society where there's no PDAs. And I'm guessing here, but I'm thinking a place like Saudi Arabia is probably like that. And if you want to live in a place like that, by all means, move to Saudi Arabia. I think people who complain too much about PDAs tend to take for granted the other liberties that we get as a society. And what kind of society do you want, really? Completely free of PDAs, but like Saudi Arabia, no public screenings of movies allowed, no consumption of alcohol allowed, and stuff like that. Or do you want to live in a place like Singapore, where you have, things like this to look at on the train? You get to enjoy your life, watch movies, drink alcohol, do whatever you like, pretty much like within limits. I mean, at some stage, I think Ju-Len had a very good point about accountability. We should take our actions into account, and we should be held responsible for them. But I think people should also look on the upside of what all of this stuff comes with. We get to pretty much live in a fairly liberal society and have fun. And if PDAs are the price of it, I think it's really worth paying.
So whether you're for or against couples behaving intimately in public, it seems like such acts are here to stay. Just a word of warning to amorous couples though. Remember, with the advent of camera phones, the world is watching.